is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Currently here on the KC Sports Network. Teal Boys back in action here with my good buddy Chris Wright. I'm Daniel Kooser. Oh my God, my friend, I'm convinced we'll never lose. Never. What's up, buddy?
Oh, it's not looking like it, right? Anytime soon, man. What an incredible, gutsy, salt of the earth performance.
Yeah.
By the Kansas City Current on the road.
There's nothing I enjoy more, that I appreciate more, than being rewarded for having my old ass stay up late. Those 9 o'clock games can be a little iffy sometimes, especially if you hammered some pizza or something. Maybe you're about to pass out, but they made it worth it, my man. I hate staying up for those games and then we lose. And I'm like, waste of time.
Yeah, it just ruins your whole next day. Next day you got to sleep in or get up and just, throw that whole routine off, right?
I could not be happier with what's going on right now. Some highlights of the game, man. I mean, Lavogez gets a couple goals. Who saw that coming? AD French had some massive moments as well. And Angel City was coming, man. Angel City they were putting up a pretty good fight. That Emsley's a pretty good little player, huh?
We talked about it last week. We talked about how that's a player to watch, or how she's kind of been on a tear recently. And I think she's had 3 goals in 2 games, including the current game. So yeah, she's having a good stretch right now.
She's a bit of a problem for other teams. I'm sure they're frustrated not to get the W here at home, but come on, you're playing first place Kansas City Current. You can't expect to get the W against
averaging over 3 goals a game, right? And we only had 1 going into the 89th.
That's what's crazy. I think in the 89th minute, I resigned myself. I was like, hey, road point, got to take it. This feels great. Wrap it up. Let's go home safe. And then all hell broke loose, and I was like, this is way better.
And even though, I know we'll hop into it, but even though we're up 2, right? We were like, let's get 1 more. We're so used to just scoring goals on a whim right now. And, maybe we shouldn't, feel that way, but we're just so used to it. It could happen at any moment. The counter was there, especially when they were trying to attack to level it. The counter was there, and it was exciting.
The supporters of KC Current are very used to cheering, we want another one just like the other one. We want 5. So saying we want 4 is not outside the realm of possibility.
Right.
What a time, man. What a time. Folks, thanks for being here. We're gonna recap this whole game. KC Current will continue their road trip this week against Houston Dash, then they get to return home to us on Mother's Day the following week. So, man, let's jump into this thing, bud. We're currently sitting at the top of the table, 16 points. I believe no team can reach us within a game. Aren't we 4 points clear of the next person?
4 points clear, sir.
That's pretty dope. Never thought I'd be saying that after the year we had last year, but we just need to enjoy this, man, because soccer can flip on its head in a blink. So we just got to take it.
And I got to throw a very quick correction at you. So we play Houston on Sunday, and then we play Seattle on Wednesday.
Hey, there is a Wednesday game.
Two back-to-back road games, and then Mother's Day back at home. So
is that a 9 o'clock Wednesday game?
I believe so.
It is.
I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm
gonna do my best, like I always do. I'll be good. I'm on a detox right now, my friend. So sleep is very important to me. I'm on day 2 of a 21-day detoxification. So,
well, then let me ask you real quick. How did you manage yesterday being at Raw? You're at Raw, right?
Yesterday was day 1, so naturally no caffeine. You're starting to cut out processed foods, lowering your grains and stuff like that. You're transitioning to a whole fruits and vegetables diet towards the end. It was a little foggy head yesterday, but I blame that to the caffeine more than anything. I've done this in the past a few times, and I always end up dropping about 20 pounds or so.
Oh,
pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I need it, man. The last year, it got away from me, and I gotten snacky. And I got hurt and stopped playing soccer, so it's like there's those extra calories,
Right.
Deal.
Adds up pretty quickly.
It adds up. Anywho, man. So yes, there is a game next Wednesday, which is kind of awesome. I love midweek soccer. We go into this game, man, thinking this. I don't know if it feels like a trap game. I don't really know what makes a trap game, but it kind of felt like, hey, we could lose this game. We could stand to lose, and that would suck, but it could happen because they were firing, man, and they were, dude. They were coming pretty hard at us, throwing balls into the box. Vanessa Dibernardo had to have her say though, and good God, she doesn't just give assists, ladies and gentlemen. She hits bangers. Just bangers, bro. This, what minute was this? Gosh dang it. I'm losing it here. Bernardo was the 54th minute. Yeah, second. So we go in to the first half. Emsley gets one in the 34th, yeah? From Alyssa Thompson, who's just looking like a good little player over there, man. She is so young and has such bright star power. I'm just very impressed every time I see Alyssa Thompson on the ball, giving up her freaking, just playing professionally as a high schooler is the most wild thing I've ever heard in my life. But you said it. You said Emsley was one to watch, man. And, she got a pretty good goal there off the side and kind of drew in defenders, man. Backside of the goal was open. It looked pretty sloppy on our part, if I got to say.
So I got a couple thoughts about that one. But before I hop into it, what is your take on Balasager starting? This is Balasager and Robinson.
Hey, you're right.
Start on that back line. What was your initial impressions? And it does kind of relate to this goal, but worth mentioning that Balasager got the start. So that was something that, was interesting. I'm not sure if that was an injury or just, maybe ball hit, maybe I don't know, is digressed or maybe just not playing where they want her to be.
Or maybe she picked up a knock and we didn't know about. Maybe she just wasn't game fit.
Could very well be the case.
Maybe she was good for a sub later if they needed her, I don't know. Was that, no one even asked us, no one asks the hard-hitting questions, my friend.
I didn't see anything. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I didn't see anything relating to a ball injury.
Yeah.
But, I am glad to see Balasager getting there. When you have Balasager and Lauren, two national team players, right? You want to see what you got. And ultimately, man, I thought she had a really good game. But going back to this goal real quick, it was a little bit of kind of a give and go situation where it looked like Ellie Wheeler got caught out of position. Thompson fed Emsley the ball coming in, and it did not look like Wheeler tracked back. It's kind of like in basketball, like a give and go. You got to track that runner.
Yeah.
And she kind of stayed on the ball a little too much. So Emsley just had that kind of free lane. She was fed by Thompson. And Balasager kind of had a lunge. And I don't blame Balasager because she was covering that inside. Like, she was where she needed to be, but she tried to make a play. Kind of had a half-hearted lunge, probably not to foul. Emsley got past her and put the ball in the back of the net. I kind of blame, if I have to place blame, I think Wheeler is kind of where I got to go there. But a learning opportunity, right? And a positive of this game entirely is that we didn't give up a set-piece goal or anything coming into the air. So,
true.
I
want to point out that A.D. French had a spectacular save in like the 12th minute. That Jasmine Spencer, is that who that is? Gal with the two buns on her head. She's a good little player, and she came down there, put a shot on goal, man. A.D. French posterized moment there. Just had to full
lay it out.
It was crazy, man. Marissa was on an airplane on the way back home, and I texted her and I was like, "Excellent save by A.D. French." It sucks, man. You can text on planes, but unless you pay for Wi-Fi, you can't watch nothing, unless it's downloaded to your phone. So she did not want to pay for Wi-Fi for a small flight like that. But that was early, and just being tested that early in the game, it made things feel a little bleak at first. It just felt kind of scary, but Emsley's goal so early like that, man, it really put things on its head, Just
felt like we didn't have momentum. We're used to controlling the game, maybe not in terms of possession, but in terms of the attack and quality of the attack. And that first half didn't really feel like it.
Yeah, it really didn't. Man, I got to hand it to him, though. Like, Izzy drops back in the goal when that shot comes, trying to, like, head it out of there, did everything right. Just a little sloppy. If Ellie Wheeler makes a mistake, I don't know how well she forgives herself, but you do realize she's a first-year player. She is a rookie.
It's expected. It's absolutely expected.
That's where the term rookie mistakes come from. But like I'm sure she holds herself to this higher standard that she would not agree with that. She'd be like, no, I got to be better. That's ridiculous. It's not because I'm a rookie. I just got to be better.
You're guarding one of the, I don't know, one of the players in the league right now who's on fire.
Yeah.
This is going to happen, and she's going to learn from it. She has a lot of veteran players around her. So, we won the game, kind of no harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul.
Good learning lesson.
It just felt like we started off slow, man. Like the Chewinga-Bia connection wasn't getting things done. I got to tell you, I don't know what we'll do if Bia Zanarado picks up some kind of injury. I've said that about Chewinga in the past and how that speed is very important to us out there. But I'm starting to say if there's one player who is not allowed to get hurt, it may just be Bia.
She ties it together. She does such a good job. She's a very unique player, and we've talked about this, but she's unique in the sense that she can drop down, body up a player, do some hold-up play anywhere on the field. Doesn't even have to be at the top, but do some hold-up play, feed Chewinga, feed Spanstra, and she can compete with the speed, right? She can lead an attack. She's very technical. But yeah, I mean, everything she does is so good. And even if she doesn't score, even if she doesn't get an assist, she's so crucial to the whole function of our attack.
My thing is the calmness. She's not like a freaking rabid animal when she gets the ball. It's so composed, just so cool and collected. And that's veteran leadership, man. Like, 100%. She's going to get things done.
They did a good job, I think, game planning for Chewinga, by the way. It was essentially like double teaming her. Like wherever she went, there was multiple players. So
yeah,
it's kind of like, it's like in football, you have a wide receiver, you take away the wide receiver, you double team them, make everybody else beat you. That's kind of what they did. And
it's a risk, but like sometimes when you're just outmatched like that, you got to take that risk.
Yep. Fortunately for us, we got other players who can beat you. So, and Chewinga had some opportunities as well. She was still able to create out there.
So. Yeah. Yep. So we go into halftime 1-0. How you feeling? We're down 1-0.
Not thrilled. I mean, I know we can score at any moment, right? We know we can score, but we're on the road. They're a good defensive team. They're up 1. You think they're going to play a little more conservatively. And that's kind of how I thought. I was wondering what kind of substitutions we would make because we really didn't have a whole lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was kind of my thought process. Like, what are we going to do at half?
Exactly. Well, let's take a quick break and we'll talk about what we did in the second half. Be right back.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
Listen, man, last night at Monday Night Raw, Patrick Mahomes was a part of the show. And it was crazy, man. He gave Logan Paul his 3 Super Bowl rings. Logan puts them on his hands like brass knuckles and goes and tries to punch Jey Uso, who ducks, and he hits this other guy, who then later on is seen with a bunch of makeup all over his face, like he's just messed up.
What?
But I was like, dude, just putting on these rings. And I'm like, does this mean Mahomes is a heel for helping Logan Paul? Is Mahomes a bad guy? I think it's confirmed.
Mahomes cannot be a bad guy in Kansas City.
He has to be now. He gave Logan Paul, who is a bad guy, rings to go hit a good guy. Heel status confirmed.
Was he booed? Was Mahomes booed?
Of course not. But it had me thinking, I was like, you're changing my entire outlook on this. Like, that means he's a bad guy. You know that, right? You just can't do that. And then freaking Braun Strowman comes out and gets in Mahomes' face as Mahomes' two linemen stand up next to him. And I'm like, oh, shit. They protect him on a daily basis. They're going to do it now. That's fun.
That's pretty cool. Way to integrate it, though. Way to integrate like a hometown legend.
Yeah. Well, they had a whole story. Did you hear about the story about the shooting at the parade and how one of the Chiefs players like protected a kid and then gave him the WWE belt afterwards? That was crazy cool. I was like, okay, you're going to make me cry at a wrestling event? What are we doing? Trey Smith. Yes. Thank you, Nick. Forgot about that. I forget names. What are you going to do? Except Creed Humphrey. You never forget Creed Humphrey's name. That's just easy to say.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Rolls right off the tongue. So, dude, second half, KC Current game. Got some work to do. Down 1-0. I'm thinking, let's just get one. Let's just take a point on the road. We're doing good things at home. Because if you just keep slashing folks at home and drawing on the road, guess what? You're probably going to win the Shield. Life's going to be good. But we're like, no, we'd like to win all our games. We'd like to just keep going, man. And this happened in the 53rd minute where there's a little bit of I got it pulled up right here, a little bit of a shakeup with the ball goes in central to Bia, and Bia lays off because Dibernardo's like, nope, give me that ball. And Dibernardo just hits it real quick. Just a little long ball laser into that top left corner. The goalkeeper was not expecting this at all, nor was I.
Has to be goal of the week. Yeah, it has to be a goal of the week. There's one other good one, but that has to be a goal of the week. That's a outside the box, like a little bit of a touch, shooting it through a little bit of traffic. Incredible. And that was the pickup we needed. We needed something like that.
I'm not done gushing over this woman. Vanessa Dibernardo, man, can do everything on the field. She is getting in good places to score goals from 3 feet away. She's scoring from 20 yards away, It's crazy. And then she's having long ball assists to Chewinga. Wow. I mean, I saw something the other day of people's front runners for MVP for the year. And I think 2 or 3 players were on KC Current.
Yeah. Out of 10, I think it was like Chewinga was 1. I think Bia was 2 or 3, and Dibernardo was like 5 or 6. I'm going off of memory here, like 5 or 6. How cool is that? They have 3 of the top 10 player of the year contenders.
It's phenomenal. I everyone on this team, man, and it's players that you wouldn't think of. Like, I mean, Haley Mace has been around for a bit, dude. Like, that name. Kristen Hamilton's not out there all that much, but it's Dibernardo getting her wings back, man. She's back in the game this year and making up for lost time from last year. I'm loving it.
Left Chicago, right? The future was unknown. Came to Kansas City with Gautreau.
She's from Chicago. She left home for this.
Yeah, came here, was excited about the ownership, was excited about, what Kansas City was doing for women's soccer. Injury-plagued year. Her good friend Gautreau leaves. She's still here, having the best start of her career, and it's not even debatable. She deserves all the flowers here. I'm happy for her.
She takes that ball off of Bia's foot. She almost steals the ball from Bia. and there's 4 Angel City players, and they just didn't have time to close in. There was no time because she takes 1 touch, step, boot. Like, that was it. And the 4 players just sitting there like, what? And it's in the back of the net.
Incredible. And leading up to that, by the way, we needed a jolt, and I think we got it, because right after half, we had Mace come on for Ellie Wheeler, right after half, and then we had Cooper come on for Spanstra. And Ellie had that one goal. We just talked about that. Spanstra, just it felt like they were able to shut her down. She wasn't able to contribute as much as she usually does. So Cooper comes in for Spanstra. Mace comes in for Wheeler. They moved Cooper to the right. They moved Chewinga to the left, on the left side, and still had to be up top. And that really worked out, man. After that happened, I feel like the energy of our team just shot up dramatically. And I don't know what the possession was at half, but I think our possession throughout that second half was fairly dominant, right? Just that was what we needed. That was a jolt we needed.
We had a plan, and we executed on it. They made these adjustments at halftime, man. I wondered why the Ellie Wheeler sub happened. I think maybe Vlatko was just like, let's try something a little different. Maybe she's getting cooked over there, you know. It is what it is, man. But whatever Vlatko decided to do, and the coaching staff, it worked out.
Does Vlatko, you know, we've given, you know, our toast to players, and I think a lot of love just kind of, our players that are doing so well, we kind of forget about what Vlatko's doing right now, or at least we don't talk about it enough. But what he has done just coming into this team and the ownership group, right? Bringing in Chewinga, bringing in Bia. Like, we knew that was impactful, but we didn't know they would be front runners for MVP of the league, right?
No.
We wanted the Mallory Swansons. We wanted, you know, some of those big name forwards, and we didn't get that. But arguably, we got something better in this combo. And what Vlatko has been able to do tactically and mesh everything together, in bringing in Claire Hutton, an 18-year-old kid, just doing incredibly well at the defensive mid position, who had a yellow in the 28th, but had a smart tactical yellow in the 28th because they were off to the races, and she essentially just stopped the attack. Cool.
That had to happen.
That had to happen. Veteran, you know, minded move, right? That was a very smart decision on her end. So what she's done, I don't think can go understated, right? The D mid is not exactly the funnest position to play. It's not exactly the, you know, when you take a look at numbers and who gets mentioned in terms of like cool goals, the D mid is not brought up, but she's done all the dirty work and some. So,
yeah, man.
Fun to watch.
Dude, it's also worth noting that, you know, Dibernardo nearly scored again, right? And banged it off the crossbar.
She did.
She was like, I this is my thing now. I shoot from long range. That's outstanding.
She has permission, right? She doesn't have to ask and take a shot. Just go for it.
Exactly. Claire Lavogez subs in the 63rd minute. Remember that name. You remember her. We'll get back to her. But dude, also Labonta and Debinha, who have been out for several games this year. It came in the 72nd minute, and I think it was good to see them back. I was like, cool, man. Let's see what we can create. And it felt like there was a little bit of a burst of energy with their arrival on the field, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And God dang, dude, what do you think of this Prime Video broadcast? It's pretty good.
It's good. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Last time I watched any sports on Prime Video, I think it would have been like Thursday football or something, you know, NFL.
Yeah.
So this worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
So, man, I kind of got the highlights going here on my screen. I love Lavogez subs on, and the camera gets a close-up of her just spitting. She just spits a loogie on the field like, I'm here, bitches.
Just marking her territory, right?
Yes.
Like, this is my field.
It's outstanding. Dude, I had talked to you earlier in the week, and I made a bold statement of how I feel like Claire Lavogez doesn't really, how did I say it? Like, kind of not lazy, but kind of just doesn't, kind of loses the ball in weird moments. Not aggressive enough, maybe. But that didn't matter because she heard that and was like, I'm going to go ahead and get 2 little goals here for you. Regardless of what kind of hustle anyone has, if you're in the right place at the right time and you're putting goals on the score sheet, life is good.
Well, when she came on, I don't know if when she came on immediately, but at some point, Vlatko told her to go up, to play up top. I don't know if that's when Dibernardo went out, but, you know, he told Lavogez to stay up top, you know, and it worked out. And I'm happy she got a goal. She's an easy player to cheer for, by the way. Coming off an injury, she's so, like, just wholesome. Like, if you watch any of her content online that the current put together, she's just so fun and wholesome and such an easy person to cheer for. Had the ACL tear last year or two.
Yeah.
Not, last year, the year before. But, you really wanted to see her come back and have some success. And like you, I was a little bit like, I don't know where she fits.
Sure.
She's coming on. Like, I don't know how she's going to beat out some of these players.
It's rough, dude.
And
they got a good run of form going.
A lot of people thought the same thing we did. And she proved us wrong, man.
And it started in the 90th minute here, man. Izzy Rodriguez has the ball on the left side. I love Izzy's little celebration here. She just kind of jumps up, looking all giddy, you know. But she just slices that ball in, man. And Lavogez, say what you want about her.
That's tough goal to make.
Say what you want about her aggressiveness. She was beasting a player and getting in front of that player. And all you have to do is get a foot on the ball, redirect it, and it may or may not go into goal. And it did, man. And we're up 2-1 with 6 minutes of stoppage time left. Like, what a time. I'm not exactly feeling good about it because 6 minutes, anything can happen. But I'm feeling pretty happy that we made
better than I did a minute ago, right? In the 89th, yeah.
We came in and played spoiler, man. It just, God, then the 93rd happens. Chawinga hits dribbles in, just flashes right towards the goal.
She teleports.
Unbelievable.
No
one can keep pace. There's just like 3 people running with her, and she's consistently moving away from them. Puts it on goal, takes a deflection. Claire Lavogez is there to clean it up.
Right place, right time, that hustle, that being,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for her. That's such what a brilliant moment to get a brace within, 3 minutes. She got a brace within 3 minutes. So, I mean, I think that brings us to the Holiday Distillery toast of the match. Claire Lavogez, 2 goals. Holiday Distillery toast of the match. To you, my friend.
Well done, Claire. Well
done, Claire. I love it. Dude, we're now 3-1. 3 minutes left of stoppage time. Feeling pretty good. So we take all the points. We take all of them. Where do we go from here, man? It feels like anything I could say that we need to work on, we made those corrections in the second half.
Yeah. No, we did not give up any set piece goals. I thought we defended pretty well. I thought Balasager did really well, by the way. There's a couple plays where they tried to attack inside the box directly. She was right there. Just taking a quick peek at the possession. We don't put a whole lot of, emphasis on possession because it doesn't really matter. We're like 12th in the league in possession and we have the most goals. But the fact that we have 51 to 49% possession here, in that second half, I think we dominated the half offensively and defensively. We had 16 shots on goal, by the way, away on the road, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
81% passing accuracy. We defended, Angel City had 9 corners and 18 crosses, and we defended all of them quite well. I don't know if we're going to, have Balasager start next game, but I'd like to see that continue, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay.
The only goal we gave up was kind of one mental mistake, but no set pieces. So I'd like to just see how that plays out.
You know who I'd like to sit down with a long conversation with? Gabby Robinson. She's putting in the minutes. She's putting in the work, the hustle. She ain't on the stat sheet or nothing like that. But I mean, she's doing the right stuff. And I would love to hear about her and
all the right stuff.
Her journey, her work ethic and all that.
She had that sliding tackle in the first half. They're kind of on the breakaway and she's like, nope.
She forces everyone to the outside like she should. And they got to make difficult shots, which makes French make difficult saves. And it is what it is, man. I do want to point out that the Casey Current's write-up, they said we play Houston Dash Saturday at noon. That's not true. We play Sunday at noon. Maybe that gets fixed if their media team listens to this and fixes it. I don't know. But Saturday is not May 5th. Sunday is May 5th. But we're on big CBS, man.
As we should be. As we should be.
Pretty easy to watch that. No Prime Video necessary. No NWSL Plus computer hooking up to your TV necessary.
It's got to make it work sometimes,
You got to do what you do, man. It's difficult. I will tell you, though, for some reason I can't Chromecast or Apple AirPlay games from NWSL Plus from my MacBook, but we can put it on my wife's computer and hook it up via HDMI. So that's interesting. Yeah. What's the game plan for Houston on Sunday?
Well, lucky for us, they're not very good. I mean, we have after this game, we have a pretty favorable 2-game road stretch. Just in terms of who we're playing, Houston is 12th, I believe, in the table.
They are
12th in the table.
I don't want to overlook this. They need to go in there and not think this is going to be easy. They need to go in there thinking they need to whoop some ass.
Well, they had a shakeup too. They lost Maria Sanchez, was traded to San Diego, arguably their best player, along with Ordonez and Jane Campbell. So they lost one of their best creative attackers, and this team is 10th in goals per match, averaging 1. They have their 2.3 goals per match they've conceded, so close to the bottom. Their offense is not good, man. Their offense is not good. Their defense, outside of Jane Campbell, has struggled. If you, by any stretch of the stats, you take a look at the metrics, by all degree, we should win this game. Like, nothing is in favor of Houston right now.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that they're at home. But that could be a trap game, by the way. When everything is favoring your side and you're playing on the road, we should win.
Is it a trap game if you've scored 20 goals in 6 games? The only team close to that is Portland at 12. It's insane.
So here, taking a look, on FOTMOP here, I'm taking a look. Shots on target per match, the current 7.7. Houston, 3.3. Less than half. Big chances created. The current 21. Houston, 6. By every single, data point here, the current should absolutely cruise to a victory. But you play the game.
And Houston just came off a boring 0-0 draw against Utah, but it's so they'll be itching to score a little bit too,
For sure. And Jane Campbell is pretty much the only reason they have not conceded more goals. She's a really good keeper and has been an obstacle for us, in the past.
Yeah.
You really got to kind of lean on Ordonez here to score some goals if you're Houston, I think she has 3 this year. Take a look. But
true, it's nothing you can put your nose up at. It's like you got to come in, be ready to buckle down and know that they're going to push because they're hungry. They know they're at the bottom. They're a little desperation can kick in when that's happening, when you see yourself dipping in the table a little bit. So, but we just need to be the bullies, dude. We need to play that villain role and continue being the bad guys of the league. I for one love it.
They have a -8 goal difference, right? We have a positive 9. They are
holy shit
1, 2, and 3. 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses. So, and they got 5 points. They're 2 points away from the playoff line. It's early, but you still don't want to. You don't want to fall behind like we did last year if you're Houston.
Yeah.
Or they did last year. You don't have to try and battle back at the end. So I imagine at this point, it's not the panic button, but you got to be kind of thinking, you got to get some points here.
Right. You're just 6 short little games in there. Come on, man. KC Current could drop off the face of the earth here pretty, we could start having a downward slug of games. You just never know. I find that hard to believe with the current roster that we have, composed of. But it's if something changed in our roster, there could be reason to worry.
Portland was last. Now they're 7th in the table. It's incredibly early, but if I'm Houston, I'm concerned about my team right now.
Totally. Oh, excuse me. We are cool, man. What else? We did the game recap, got the game preview.
Oh, if you want to watch the game at a watch party, Kansas City Current have an official watch party, I believe.
Yeah, you going up there?
I am not. I will.
Cost a little money, right?
Cost a little money. It's midweek. It's a commute for us, so that's enough.
It's midweek. They're not. It's not on Sunday. It's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, it's on Sunday. We might. It's still a bit of a commute, but it could happen.
Interesting.
It can happen. Yeah.
Cool.
What about you?
You do? No. I've got rehearsals and all that stuff. So
I do like it though. I like that they're doing something. If you're in the area, a cool watch party, right? It allows you to be connected to the team, even on away games.
Sure, and I think you can sit wherever you want. I think you could go sit in someone else's seat if you wanted to. and if you enjoy it, you're like, oh, maybe we'll look at upgrading our seats next year or something like that. I think that's probably a little cross-pollination here, maybe.
A nice selling point for the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that kind of caught my eye, just talking about the schedule here, taking a look at Kansas City Current, our games. We have Houston on the 5th, and then we have Seattle on the 8th, that Wednesday game. And then the following Sunday, we got North Carolina on the 12th. So that's 3 games in essentially 7 days.
Yeah.
And then
North Carolina's knocking on that door. They're right behind us.
Yeah. So how you manage minutes over the course of those 2 games, over the next 2 road games, I think is going to be pretty interesting. We have the depth to try to get some other players in there, but you don't want to be worn down and then have North Carolina come to town.
It'd be nice to really shuffle those games because you're facing number 12 and then you're facing number last on Wednesday. So it's like, don't kill yourself because then you got number 2 coming to town. You know what I mean? So there's possibility here to shuffle some things up. Maybe B and Chewinga don't play a whole 90. Maybe they don't need to. Maybe we're up by 3 goals by the time we're in the 60th minute or something. That's not outside the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. You have Cooper who's itching to get in there.
Hey, she's back and doing her thing. And by her thing, I mean making things look like a foul, but no foul gets called.
Well, she did get a yellow, a well-deserved. Yeah.
There was a couple no calls where she just beasted someone off the ball, and I was like, God damn.
And she's put herself in good situations. I mean, these past 2 games when she's been on the field, Chewinga would have 4 or 5 players coming at her, and she's wide open. That's a tough ball to feed, but if you can, Cooper is just there. So she's putting herself in a good spot. But can she get that ball to her in that position? I would like to see more of her. I know she improves quite a bit every single time. There's an off season or some time off. So I want to see her on the field a little more.
These are the 2 games to do that in, man. Houston has scored 6 goals. Seattle has scored 5. I didn't realize we should be doing a double game preview here. Totally forget about that Wednesday game. But to our 20, come on. We should be able to slap a few on them and then rest up the big guns for the next game, right?
Could this be the game that we bring in, Desiree Scott for a half and have her split time with Claire Hutton? We have Debinha and Lowe back in the fold. Bailey Feist has proven herself to be, very, very serviceable, right?
Also, I'm convinced if you are 18 years old, you're fine. I'm convinced, Claire, that you just don't get tired because she looks so good out there, man.
That is true. That's very true. But
I think that, you're right. I mean, cycle people out, but if they got the legs, they got the legs. And young people, man, they got the legs.
Yeah. I mean, put Ellie Wheeler back in there, just give some of these veteran players a little bit of a break over the course of these 3 games in 7 days. I would like to see us. Well, I would like to see us have our best 11 on May 12th. Like have our best foot forward for that game.
I'm sure you're saying exactly what the coaching staff is saying. Like that makes the most sense. It was weird to see Ellie Wheeler get subbed out, someone who's played like all season, right? It was just different. And I was like, okay, I mean, you can't play every minute of every game. I think it's just really not sustainable. You're gonna come out sometime. But it just felt weird because she's been so consistent in there.
And it's not a bad thing. You're coming out for Haley Mace.
Yeah, right.
I mean, what a luxury that is, by the way. You have a somebody who's been on the bubble for a national team, a veteran player who's done a lot of really good things, who's a threat both in the attack and on the back line. There's nothing wrong with coming out for Haley Mace. And you're a rookie.
No.
You're a rookie. Like, you need time to develop to the league. So,
yeah, it's wild. I know she played it pretty close to the vest about, expecting to play all this, just wanting to be ready for every game and everything. But come on, when you come into a league, like, there's no expectation to start right away. Like, there can't be. You have to ground yourself. You have to think like, hey, I got to earn my spot. And she must have earned her spot, man, because she's been playing every damn game.
And Mace is coming off of an injury. So, like, maybe that was a pre-planned sub.
True.
So
that's possible. But like I said, though, she did get cooked a couple times on the right side there. So they were like, yeah, why don't you have a seat for a minute? They might have your number tonight.
It doesn't hurt to take a step back, right? And just kind of, once you're in it so much, it's almost hard to take a step back, look at it from a different perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. What's our thoughts on that Seattle game? I mean, obviously it's number 1 versus number bad. What do we? I mean, Seattle shouldn't be an issue, right? Get to play in a football stadium. Don't they play over at the CenturyLink?
Yeah,
if it is called that,
they do. Let's hear. I mean, they're rebuilding. They don't want to think they're rebuilding. The coach said they're not rebuilding, but they're rebuilding. They lost a lot of quality players.
They have one win, man. No draws, 5 losses.
They lost Sonnet. They lost Rose Lavelle. They lost a lot of good players. Balser's their attack up top. Yeah, they're just struggling, man. It's just going to be an off year for them. Then they're kind of like Houston. They're not too high in a lot of the metrics and stats over the course of the season, but they have a good coach, so you can't take them lightly regardless. I mean, they lost the last 5 games, though, so they lost to North Carolina by 1, by the way. They lost to Chicago by 1. They lost to Bay FC by 1. They lost to San Diego by 1, and then Chicago again by 1. So they lost to good teams.
It's wild that you mentioned Sonnet and Lavelle. They went to Gotham, and Gotham's not doing much better than Seattle is. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, it just goes to show, man. You can have just like us. Like, we went to the championship 2 years ago, and then we finished second to the bottom. Sometimes
now
you catch fire.
Right now.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that reset, I guess.
Well, we are still we're still not the only unbeaten team, man. Racing Louisville and Orlando Pride have yet to lose. So for some reason, I want that last remaining unbeaten team status. I just think there's something cool to be said about that. It just feels badass, if you will,
Yeah, well, we may have that. An interesting scenario, because tomorrow, according to FOTMob, Orlando plays North Carolina. Is that correct? Let me check.
May 1st, yeah.
Yeah. So
there are some games if you guys are listening tonight. Orlando and North Carolina, Chicago and Washington, and Bay and Portland. Quite the trifecta of games on Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
So Orlando could very well lose against North Carolina. That's a very big possibility, but they are at home.
Oh, check this out. May 5th, Orlando plays Louisville.
Okay. Well, they'll probably draw or something.
So that'll be interesting. You could see two of those teams potentially lose over the course of the week.
This is cool, man. I mean, there's games coming almost every night. I mean, you got 2 games Friday night, 2 more Saturday, and 3 on Sunday. So it's just, everything's just packed, bro. I love it.
It's exciting, man. If you're a neutral or just a fan of the league, like, these are great games to watch.
Well, I love this because as the league has gotten bigger, I mean, this is arguably the biggest the league has ever been. You might be attracting new fans, new kids, maybe new people listening to this podcast because maybe they see KC Current being so big and now they want to be a fan of that team. You know, maybe they think we're juggernauts. Got to tell you, we're not. We come from small times. We're big this year. We don't know how to handle it.
Salt of the earth team. And real quick, Vlatko, he has a very kind of grounded road mentality, right? Like, he just wants to come in, put in the hard work, put in the grit, the determination, and come out with a win. He doesn't want to be flashy on the road. He just wants to be tough and consistent. And I think that mentality is traveling really well to some of these road matches.
Exactly. I know we'll probably talk, I forget what day it is, because I know we'll probably talk more about that Seattle game next week.
Yeah.
As we also talk about the Mother's Day game against North Carolina. So a couple of big time games coming up, man. It's exciting stuff.
But we could potentially have, if we pull out both wins, man, we could potentially have 22 points in our first 8 games?
Yes.
That's insane.
You could even throw in a home win in there because I don't think we're going to let North Carolina come in and bust our chops. It's not going to happen.
We play better at home, and we're gonna want to take the fight to North Carolina on that, and they're gonna want to bring it to us, right? So it's gonna be, and they have really strong possession. North Carolina does, and we thrive, and we play really well without possession. So it's gonna be interesting how that game plays out.
For sure. Well, cool. I think we covered it all. You good?
I'm good, man.
All right, dude. Folks, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're on a tear. Just 6 games in. Things are good. And we'll the game on Sunday at noon. Tune in next week and we'll talk about a double game week with Seattle and North Carolina on the horizon. So thanks so much again. If you want to follow us online, you can at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Please feel free to give us some ratings and reviews. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We'll read them on the air if you're kind enough. If you're not kind enough, we'll probably rib you on the air. And if you want to email us, nootherpod@gmail.com. If you have questions or anything, more in-depth things that you really don't want to put on Twitter, feel free to shoot us a long-form email. So for Chris, I'm Daniel. Y'all have a good week. We love you.